am ripping apart my house. I'm throwing couch cushions, I'm looking underneath the bed, I'm opening every single drawer that I own, I even check the freezer. I can't find my keys, and I'm already late for work. My palms are sweaty, my heart is racing, there is makeup sliding down my face. And in the midst of this chaos and distress, the first thing I say to myself is, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're disorganized, of course you lost your keys. In the time when I needed myself the most, I was hypercritical and negative. And what I realized was this was a pattern that I saw in my life. We could copy and paste this to a dressing room. I'm trying on clothes, nothing is fitting, I'm discouraged, and I say to myself, you're fat, you're ugly, of course these clothes don't fit you, it's not meant for you, you'll never be enough. And what's probably even more striking is that I recognized in times of joy, when I had knocked it out of the park, done an incredible job, that critical voice came up again, and the first things I said to myself was, that's not good enough. You forgot something, you could do better. And so I recognized no matter what situation that I was in, I was being so hypercritical of myself, and it was killing me. It was harming me, and I can imagine some of us here today have felt that critical voice, that negativity rise up in all situations in our lives. So I decided to go on a journey, figure out a way to change my self-talk so that I could save my life. So as I'm in this process, I'm talking with my friends and processing, and a good friend of mine says, Ashley, the first thing we think is typically how we're socialized. The second thing is us. That's when we get to write the narrative. And that gave me so much solace, right? Because what we know is that for women, we are socialized to be critical of ourselves, to put the other first, to get validation outside of ourselves. And when we look at the intersections of women of color, we know that that intensifies, where society and oppressive systems are telling us we're not good enough, smart enough, strong enough, and then that becomes our own critical voice. So as I'm recognizing that this is a pattern, I realize I have to find a way to save myself. I have to find a way to shift my self-talk into something positive. What's ironic about this entire situation is that words are my life, right? I am a therapist. Every day I sit down with people, I talk with them, process, tell them how important it is to talk about your experiences. And I'm a professional poet. I'm the Pikes Peak Region Poet Laureate. And so I use my words, my poetry as activism, as entertainment, as a way that I speak to people. And yet I still found that internal voice, that self-critic was rising up every single time I was accomplishing something or was in deep distress. And so I knew I needed to change. So what I did is thought about what normally helps me. Where do I ground myself? Where do I bring power? And I thought immediately to my ancestors. That is someplace that resonates so deeply with me on an emotional and a spiritual level. And so when we talk about ancestors, what often comes up is the idea of generational trauma, right? The experiences of people in our past and how that impacts us today. The first time we start to see generational trauma come out in psychology is around 1966. And in 1988, there was a study conducted for the children and grandchildren of Holocaust survivors. And what they noticed is that these children represented 300% of psychiatric needs in relation to other folks who did not have this type of trauma. So what we know scientifically is that we can inherit trauma from our ancestors. But I say all of this and it feels very theoretical. But I had a personal experience of generational trauma, and I'm going to tell you how that led me to shift my self-talk completely. So I am in Vegas. I'm at a Cirque du Soleil show, and I'm having the best time of my life. I love it. It's fantastic, amazing. A performer comes on stage, cracks a whip, and something shifted inside of me. I no longer felt safe in my body. I didn't feel safe in the audience. I was sweaty, my heart was racing, and I knew I had to leave, right? My fight, flight, freeze was activated inside of me. What's important to note is that I have never been the victim of violence with a whip. But I come from a lineage of enslaved people who have been subjected to whips as torture and punishment. And so I leave. I leave the show, I go into the bathroom, and I'm trying to collect myself. And it's scary. I am literally feeling fear. My stomach is churning, my palms are sweaty, I'm trying to catch my breath, and I don't know what's happening to me. And in this moment, as I'm collecting myself, I realize this is generational trauma. I am feeling the fear, the experiences that my ancestors did. And in that moment, I recognize that our ancestral connection is palpable. It is right there at the tip of our fingers. And I thought, if I can feel this in present day, what my ancestors have felt centuries before, that means that our ancestral connection is strong. And in fact, I realize that our ancestral connection is bidirectional, which means we are able to inherit things from our ancestors, but also we get to influence our lineage. The way we talk to ourselves, the way we act, our experiences are also felt by our ancestors before us. And so that was it. That was the shift. From a scary moment, I realized that I am connected to my ancestors in incredible ways. And so I use this formula to shift my self-talk based on this experience. And we're going to do it together right now. What I want you to do is think about a loved one in your past. Maybe a parent, a grandparent, a great-great-grandparent, someone that you love and care for. Just take a minute to think about them and hold them dear in your heart. Now I want you to think about the last critical or negative thing you said to yourself. And imagine saying that to the beloved ancestor or loved one that you hold in your heart. I get goosebumps every time I do this. I chose my grandmother, and I can absolutely not imagine saying, "You're dumb, stupid, and ugly, Grandma." I just couldn't. I'm not even sure I could think it. I think she'd know right away if any of that was in my heart. But this example completely shifted the way I talk about myself. When that critical voice came up, I thought of my grandmother. I thought I would never say that to her. And if we understand that ancestral connection is bidirectional, that means our ancestors are here with us. So when I say I'm dumb, stupid, and ugly, I'm saying that to my grandmother, my great-great-grandmother, and that shifted it. It completely stopped the way I talk to myself with this little practice. And we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. I know we've heard that before, but it's true. And how dare we speak negatively to ourselves when we are speaking to our ancestors? Our voices have power, and we have the ability, when we speak kindly to ourselves, to heal us and our ancestors. We honor them with our words. And so we can shift that critical self-talk with words, saying you are enough, you are loved, you're doing great. We are also saying that to our lineage before us. And we talk a lot about the past and the present, but the future, right? People are watching us. We are modeling the way we take care of ourselves and how we talk. And what we get is a generational blessing. We have the opportunity to heal, to use our words to care for ourselves and our ancestors. And that is an opportunity we cannot waste. So I encourage you to talk kindly to yourselves, to keep that loved one in your heart when you speak to yourself. Because I will never ask you to do anything that I won't do myself. And I will promise you, as soon as I am done, the first thing I say to myself will be something beautiful, powerful, and amazing. And I encourage you to do the same, to start the practice of thinking about your loved ones when that voice comes up, to shift the socialization and to speak kindly to yourself, if only to honor your ancestors and yourself. So before I leave, I want to share with you the way in which I heal, which is poetry, and how I shifted from that generational trauma experience to understanding the care and love that I have. The first time I unearthed ancestral connection was from a cracked whip at a Vegas show. Leather hitting hardwood stage, sound wave teleportation from audience member to enslaved woman. Heart racing, back arched in anticipation of pain, blood rushing to clench fists. I know this is fear, but this is not my own. This is an echo of pain released from cracked and broken skin at the hands of a slave owner. I want to scream alongside my ancestors. run under North Star protection instead. I find solace in a public bathroom. I stare into a mirror, looking at a black body experiencing black trauma she has no memory of. But I did not see myself alone. I saw generations of women lined up behind me. The origins of the echoed screams that shook my soul. My grandmother Arlene, my great-great-grandmother Zadie, and other women in my past who I haven't met. They were here in protection of me. My ancestors were caring for me through my body. The unearthing was my great-great-grandmother's hand holding me, protecting me, pleading with me to run away from the cracked whip because she couldn't. This experience was them telling me that I was loved, that I was cared for, that they are here and always have been. So to a mirror full of ancestor protectors, I say thank you. I will cry and baptize my cheeks in joy when I feel you. I will pray with my self-talk, bless every family member before me with the alchemy of my voice. My words will anoint ghost lashes, will soothe lineage trauma. I will practice speaking to myself kindly in times of uncertainty. I will recognize and honor that we inherit generational blessings as much as we do trauma. That self-talk is a conversation with our elders, and they are waiting for us to respond. So I say, loudly and with intention, I see you. You are loved. You are cared for. You are powerful. You are enough. I honor myself. I honor my ancestors with the power of my words. Thank you.